Uh, I am Hojin from Jeju National University of South Korea, and I am an associate professor of Business Administration Department. I am here to make a presentation of our research named Antecedents of Knowledge Sharing Behavior. I feel privileged and also I feel very weird because of this uncontact setting of research presentation. This is my first time to make an uncontact research presentation. And okay, let me begin with the content of this research. The research is composed of 7 parts. Number one, abstract. Number two, introduction and background. Number three, literature review. Number four, research model and hypothesis. Number five, method. Number six, result. And finally, number seven, implications and limitations of this research. Firstly, abstract. Let me begin with the abstract. Recently, there have been much interest for knowledge sharing to overcome and correspond environmental change. Uh, this change is named as common name. This is called as Industry 4.0. This study investigates the factors affecting knowledge sharing behavior, and we suggested readers participative leadership behavior and group diversity as independent variables of the knowledge sharing behavior. And we focused on the linking factors which mediating those relationship among independent variables and knowledge sharing behavior. Uh, and we hypothesized employees' commitment to change as a mediating variable and empirically tested the research model with SEM using Amos program. Results from the study revealed that there are statistically significant relationships among leaders' participative leadership behavior and employees' knowledge sharing behavior. This study found significant relationship between group diversity and knowledge sharing behavior also. SCEM structural equation modeling showed significant direct and indirect effect of commitment to change as a mediator. Secondly, introduction and background. Recently, there is much interest for knowledge sharing in the area of management. Knowledge sharing is the behavior of disseminating one's acquired knowledge with others members within one's organization. The focus of knowledge management is how to share knowledge to create value-added benefits to the organization. The process of identifying, sharing, and using knowledge and practices inside the organization is one of the tangible and most important factors of knowledge management. Knowledge sharing is a social process. Here, social process means people to people process and the key common component of knowledge management process. In the knowledge management process, how to make individual knowledge into organizational knowledge is one of major management managerial concept. And so the objective of this study is to empirically examine employees' knowledge sharing behavior by adapting existing theories of leaderships and group dynamics. Throughout history of management research, leadership has been nominated as one of the strong factors that influence employees' attitude and behavior. Considering the voluntary and autonomous aspect of employees' knowledge sharing behavior, we assumed leaders' participative and empowering behavior as a key variable which motivate and facilitate employees' proactive behaviors. Here we means here we mean knowledge sharing behavior. Another factor that might influence the knowledge sharing behavior is effective structural ethics, and we drew group diversity as another antecedent variable to the knowledge sharing behavior. Uh, Among the relationship of antecedents and employees' behavior, there should be employees' attitudinal process which links the contextual influence and behavior with literature reviews from proactive psychology researches. We hypothesized employees' commitment to change as mediating variables of the whole process. Let me move on to the literature review side. Firstly, knowledge sharing. In this study, knowledge sharing behavior is viewed as the degree to which employees actually share their knowledge with their colleagues for their task. In practice, knowledge sharing has two aspects, behavioral and technological. Sharing one's individual knowledge is not simply carried out. People are reluctant to share their knowledge unless they think it is valuable and important. As you know, a previous survey showed that the biggest challenge organizations face in knowledge management is the changing people's behavior because they are generally reluctant to the change. Lawson also showed in his comparison of two knowledge sharing systems that knowledge sharing is a human activity and understanding the humans who will do it is the first step to the success of such knowledge management systems. In general, there are several contextual factors that might affect the success of knowledge sharing systems or knowledge sharing behavior, such as attention to the team structure and workflow issues, collaboration practices, and the nature of document being shared. Also, task structures and leadership style have been considered as major contextual factors facilitating employees' knowledge management or knowledge sharing behavior. Despite the emphasis placed on behavioral aspect of knowledge sharing, only a few empirical studies on knowledge sharing have been conducted. Recently, an empirical study was conducted to develop the understanding of the factors that support or constrain knowledge sharing behavior in for public organization. We can refer Buck and Kim 2002 research. Secondly, participative leadership behavior. Participative leadership, defined as joint decision-making or at least shared influence in decision-making process by a superior and his or her employees. This is a central theme of research. Follows practice, as you know, participative decision-making. Here we use PDM offers a variety of potential benefits. It is likely to increase the quality of the decision, to contribute the quality of employees' work life, and to increase employees' motivation, commitment, and satisfaction. This study focuses on the positive effect of participative leadership on employees' proactive behavior, such as creative behavior, helping peoples, and knowledge sharing behavior. Thirdly, group diversity. Work group diversity is defined as the degree to which there are differences between group members. This may affect group process and performance positively as well as negatively. Much is still unclear about the effects of diversity, however. Groups in organizations have become increasingly diverse over the years and will continue to become more diverse in years to come. Organizations have become more diverse in terms of demographic differences between people, in terms of gender, age, and ethnicity. Moreover, organizations are increasingly adopting work group compositions that incorporate differences in functional or educational backgrounds, such as in cross-functional project teams, mergers, acquisition, and joint ventures are also introduce diversity into work groups. Because work group diversity may have positive as well as negative effect on group performance. Diversity is typically conceptualized as referring to difference between individuals on any attribute that may lead to the perception that another person is different from self. The perception is important in here. In principle, diversity research may concern any possible dimension of differentiation, but in practice, diversity research has primarily focused on difference in gender, age, ethnicity, tenure, educational background, and functional background. The key question in diversity research is how differences between work group members affect group process and performance, as well as group members' attitudes and subjective well-being. Lastly, commitment change. The term resistance to change has immediate appeal. It strikes a responsive chord because over the years, industry estimates have quoted nearly 40% of failure rate for some change efforts. We can infer Cartwright and Cook for 1992. Most often, the culprit is identified as employee resistance to change. Adverse consequences to failed change effort have included higher turnover rate, lower efficiency, uh, restriction of output, and decreased organizational commitment. A lot of scholars have discussed the importance of commitment to the change initiative taking place in an organization. For example, Hoskovich and Mayer argued that commitment is arguably one of the most important factors involved in employee support for change initiatives. Indeed, without such support, even the best developed plans would fail by the wayside. Others have expressed similar notions. Hui is the right Hui comments that employees are more likely to collectively support organizational change programs when there is a sense of trust and attachment to the organization. Here, we use commitment to change as effective commitment change. Uh, Research model and hypothesis. Let me move on to the research model and hypothesis. You can you can see the figure in here in this slide. Firstly, independent variables are participative leadership and group diversity, and dependent variable. Here, the outcome variable is knowledge sharing behavior. And finally, the mediator is commitment change. Here we use effective side of commitment change. So there are 5 hypotheses in here. To name a few, hypothesis 1, participative leadership will be positively associated with effective commitment change. Secondly, hypothesis 2, group diversity will positively associate with effective commitment to change. And you can see the hypothesis 3, 4, 5 as well. And this is our research model. Sample data, let me move on to the method side. We use survey questionnaire drawn from prior research, and data were collected from a company, one company within financial industry. Our final data set was contained 764 employees from in I'm sorry, 74 groups. Let me finalize. Our final data set was contained 764 employees from uh, sorry 74 groups. Regional background showed diverse results. Some are from Seoul, Gyeonggi, and Gyeongsang. Employees were comprised with 415 males and 349 females. Next step is the result. Uh, this page shows the confirmatory factor analysis result. The CFA results suggested that this model is conceptual model, research model provided significantly fit to the data. Some are slightly below the guideline, such as GFI and AGFI, but others shows very strong and high level of coefficient. Constructs are constructs are composed of four constructs: participative leadership, group diversity, commitment, change, knowledge sharing behavior, and the result shows very strong support to the research setting. This is the Cronbach's alpha coefficient. Descriptive statistics show some significant relationship among the research variables and control variables such as gender and tenure in organization. You can see number one. Number one variable is gender, and number four variable is tenure in job. Number five is tenure in organization. And from number six to number nine is research variables. There are strong and significant relations between the research variables. Finally, let me show the hypothesis test result. This is uh, the result of SEM analysis using AMOS. We tested a hypothesized research model, and this figure shows very every coefficients in the model SEM is significant, and the results support all the hypotheses of this study. You can see the uh, beta significant between participatory leadership and commitment change, and group diversity and commitment change as 0.39, 0.46, and commitment to change from commitment change and to the knowledge sharing behavior is 0.73. And the model fit of the research model support the research setting. Here you can see the slightly below the standard coefficients such as GFI and AGFI as well. But all others showed very strong and significant level of coefficient. Final section is implications and limitations. Firstly, implication. We drew research questions from prior research of knowledge management process and found significant antecedents of employees' knowledge sharing behavior. As a managerial influence, we suggested leaders' participative behavior will facilitate or develop or motivate employees' proactive behavior. Here we mean knowledge sharing behavior. And as a contextual influence, we suggest group diversity, which might enhance groups' ability to make diverse opinions and actions. Moreover, this study finds the role of employees' commitment change as a key mechanism among those in relationship. Finally, limitations of our study. This study also have a lot of limitations. Firstly, common method variance, maybe some. However, we noted that several analyses, such as CFA and AVA and GR, supported the discriminant validity of our variables. Secondly, the correlational design of this study precludes causal conclusions, although our predictions are based on strong theoretical prior research and the time-lagged performance data makes alternative explanation less likely. Uh, we can say that reverse causality such as knowledge sharing behavior, predicting participative leadership. In addition, the generalizability of our findings to other cultures or countries is limited because this study was conducted in South Korea. This is the implication and limitation of our study. Thank you for hearing our research, and we hope to develop our research from your very constructive feedback and opinions to the research. Thank you.